Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of the Renegade Arcade Reloaded. We have with me some of my favorite people on this planet Earth. First of all, my co-host Brock.
Hello.
And
How's it going?
secondly, we have our princess, Allie.
Hello.
And thirdly, my best friend, the whole entire universe, my Buffy, Red.
Hello.
All right, so, guys, what are we talking about today? We are talking about the exciting world, glamorous world, if you will, of video games. We got some news that's been coming out over the past 3 weeks. We missed last week because of the July 4th long weekend, but this week, some stuff happened. Some games launched. There's been some news. Capcom had a little showcase, as well as Bandai Namco, which was a bunch of anime games, so therefore not really my cup of tea. But on the Bandai Namco side. But Brock, do you have any thoughts? Let's start with you. Do you have any thoughts on the Capcom showcase where they revealed Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, which they call DRDR? Also, Kunitsugami got a showcase, which I know Allie has some thoughts on. And
Just a few.
And then they also announced the iOS ports of Resident Evil. I believe it was it Village? I think it was.
So. Yeah.
Yeah. So, any thoughts on that, Brock?
My biggest takeaway is that an announcement comparable to Water is Wet, they're making another Resident Evil game.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's from the same guy that basically gave them the resurgence with Resident Evil 7. So that's exciting.
That's exciting.
I mean, Resident Evil 8 being ported onto something, as much as I was not as big a fan of what they kind of did with some things with that game, I'm happy. More Resident Evil and more things I'm good with. On that Kunitsugami game, I still don't know what the hell that thing is, so it's exciting. I'm just happy that Capcom does good, because I don't know what my life would be in video games if I didn't have Capcom, so
true.
just keep doing well. I'm happy that they're doing things. Now, the Dead Rising thing is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest announcement that I saw about that is that supposedly all of the original music is going to come back with it. There won't be changes.
Ooh,
so that's a big thing.
That's interesting indeed, yeah.
Yeah, but Dead Rising is a game that'll be interesting for people nowadays to play for the first time, especially the original ones that had time constraints.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll be waiting to see how people like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think Dead Rising was one of the games that I was waiting around to want to play, just never got the option to. So I'm kind of excited to be able to get a chance, because I always been an avid player of zombie games.
Yeah.
I have played not a whole lot, surprisingly, in the Resident Evil franchise. I did play the crap out of Resident Evil 4.
Yes.
And I believe I played a lot of 6, but then I played an insane amount of time in the Left 4 Dead 2. So zombie games are always my forte.
Nice. Any thoughts on Kunitsugami, Allie? Because I know you were talking to us about that yesterday.
Yes, I watched that whole video, and like Brock said, what is this game even trying to be? It really decided to let's take a little bit of all the games and put it into one, and then maybe we can get the player bases of everyone to buy our game. This thing went from they're talking like Civilization Builder to Majora's Mask to a tower defense to a side-scrolling fighting game. It's really like ADD the video game.
It was a lot. It was a lot to take in that video, I gotta say. Like, I'm sitting there watching it going like, wow, this is kind of like a mixture of what you would get if you had like the aesthetics of like Onimusha and then mixed it with the gameplay of Brutal Legend or something. Like, it's so strange. It's also kind of like I'm I'm kind of into at least trying it out. At least, like I was telling Red and Allie yesterday off stream. I was telling them, or off recording. I was telling them that like I'll give it like the old 30-minute test and see if it holds my attention past that point, you know. But I mean, aesthetically, it's interesting, and like I'm willing to try it. It's Capcom, so yeah. Red, what did you think?
I get what you guys are saying. It did look chaotic as fuck, but like it's pretty. Like I like the aesthetic. I don't hate the ADHD vibe of just being all over the place, but maybe that's because I'm riddled with ADHD. I don't know.
Yeah. What do you think of there being a new Resident Evil announcement there? Like they pretty much just said it matter of factly. They're like, we are working on another Resident Evil. You know, it's kind of like, I mean, where do you go?
I'm always excited about that, regardless of if it's kind of trash. Like zombie games in general are also my thing, my vibe. So,
here's a question for you: Do you guys want it to be first person or third person, or have the mixture of both, like how they kind of did it in Village?
I want it to be third person,
Same.
because I like third person in general.
Yeah,
same. It's not a bad thing to try. I just feel it works better for the type of game you're playing in third person. Because like I legit had issues in some spots with how the AI acted because I was in first person.
Yeah.
I would not mind if they gave the option for either or, so you could play it both ways.
Yeah.
Oh, that is always nice. Yeah.
They can do that for Ace. They install the third person option later, so it's possible.
I love what they did there with Village, because I actually played through Village. When I did my playthrough, it was in the third person mode. So, because I like seeing the environment more, you know, I don't want it to be just like, in this case, in the case of Resident Evil, I love to see the environment around the character, and I don't want to just see like the fixed perspective. So I think it's a little bit more visually interesting, and it's a little more atmospheric to me. And I know that like a lot of people would disagree with that and say first person is more atmospheric, but I don't know. To me, it's a little more engrossing when it's third person, and I like being able to see my character. Although they just kept on, you know, you don't see Ethan's face ever, which is still hilarious to me.
I think the first person atmospheric thing worked better in 7 because it was built around that.
Yeah, it's built around it.
Worked as well in 8.
Yep.
Like Village, you kind of want to see like when Lady D's daughters are chasing you. I kind of want to just turn the camera around and see that. You know,
that's what it's all about. I see.
Yeah. You know, you can chase my hot
always leads to the boobies.
I'm just saying. It always comes back to Lady D. Anyway, Lady Dimitrescu. My God, what a character. And then of course you had like the freaky sequences and like the wow.
I don't want to talk about that baby, okay? Let's just
Oh my God. That is so creepy as hell. Anyway, it was great. I loved Village.
Yeah, it's a great game.
It's so good. I'm still playing through the Resident Evil 4 remake. I need to get back to it, honestly. It's so good though. It's so good. But again, you know, it's like
put John Wick in the middle of Resident Evil. I wanted it.
That's a third-person Resident Evil. I mean, they've all been third-person up to that, you know, up to 7, and so it's like you can still make it super atmospheric and scary and stuff. And yeah, so I don't get the complaints anyway. With Dead Rising, for me personally, it's always been like I did not really get a chance to play it on the 360 and stuff, but I did pick up all the HD remasters because they had them all on sale, so I have them all on Steam, and I never played them, so maybe now it's a good time to go and play them and get ready for that deluxe remaster. But anyway, the graphics look really amazing, like the way that they updated everything, and I think they updated like the voice cast as well and just re-recorded everything, so it looks really good and it looks chaotic as fuck. And yeah, that was Capcom. Their showcase, Capcom Next. Apart from that, what else do we have going on? A couple of big game launches, actually 3 of them. One is, of course, from the Hoyoverse, makers of my favorite game and yours, Honkai Star Rail. They launched Zenless Zone Zero this past couple of weeks, which has the same aesthetic as Genshin Impact and the same kind of look as Honkai Star Rail. For me, it's probably the most palatable of those types of games. I'm not a big Hoyoverse guy, so the art style in this one, I think it kind of works a little bit better. Like, it seems a little more polished. And just like it's more of a straight up action game, even though you do have the puzzle sequences in between levels and stuff like that. Curious to know if you guys have played it. If you're thinking of playing it, it's free to play. It's on Epic Game Store, and it's on I believe it's on PlayStation. Have any of you played it or tried it?
I have
I have not.
no.
I have not. I barely checked it out, and it didn't hold a lot of my interests, mainly because I'm hyper focused on other things right now.
Gotcha. Yep, same. Yeah, for me, it's the action's good. It seems pretty all right. I'll spend a few minutes with it and then probably move on. Another game that launched over the past couple of weeks is Once Human. That was a game that Red was the one who told me about it, and I played a bit of the demo that they've had on Steam and also the beta that they had, where it was just kind of an ongoing beta. Red was kind enough to give me a code to get in there, and then we ended up not playing together, which is so weird. Anyway,
I know.
Yeah, any thoughts on that? Red, we'll start with you.
I mean, obviously, because I spent a lot of time playing that game. I think all around it's really solid. It's funny, my partner's actually playing the full release right now, and they
nice.
I think one of the biggest things I saw is they got like new skins now you can buy, of course, all games. If it's a free to play game, they're gonna release a bunch of skins you can sink your money on, and let me tell you, some of them are super cute.
I bet.
One of them's a pink girl. I'm just saying.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I'm excited to start playing that for sure. Probably sink some time into that today.
Nice.
But yeah, I spent a lot of time on it when it was in.
Let's try to play
beta.
together. Let's try to play together.
Yes.
Today. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. All right, Brock. Any opinion on this one?
I don't know a whole lot about it, and I watched a launch trailer that you posed, and I didn't get a whole lot of what the game was.
It's kind of a
survival crafting type game.
Survival crafting.
It's survival crafting. It's got like this cool, like Cthulhu-esque, cosmic horror sort of vibe to it, which is really cool. And also a little bit of Pokemon, because you can capture like these little spirit beings that'll help you out in battle and stuff like that.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool.
If I look more into it.
Not bad.
If you like survival crafting games, definitely look into it. I think it's solid as far as that goes.
Yeah.
Everybody keeps mentioning it, which always makes me want to go check it out. And then by the time I would have an opportunity to, I've forgotten. So because everybody keeps mentioning it, talking about it, I'm sure it's a great game that I will eventually want to check out, but I, as of yet, have not.
So I will say, for me personally, when I was playing it, the recent Steam demo from Next Fest that launched like last month, I was using mouse and keyboard, which I am not a pro at, so that was a little tough. But using mouse and keyboard, this game actually got me into that a little bit. Like, I was like, oh, I'm not doing so bad at this. Okay, not too shabby.
Well, maybe it'll be the game that'll ease you into it then.
Maybe this game will teach me. But I noticed too that, like, compared to the beta that's been going on, the demo, there were more like zombies attacking you. Like, that's the enemy that you face. They're a bunch of undead dudes. And
there's also some really weird looking enemies.
Yeah, and
like balloon headmen and stuff.
Totally, like a lot more of them attacking me this time, and I was like, "Oh shit," and I kind of
that's cool.
And I'm all using mouse and keyboard. And I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to die. It's a demo. Go easy on me." Anyway, so and there was one point where they had like this loot container, and it was in the middle of this, like, it looked like almost like a basketball court or like an amphitheater or something, because there were like stadium seats and stuff. And like, I ran over to it, and I opened the case like an idiot. I was like, just do this. And then a boss appeared, and I ran out of there so fast, because I was like, nope, not doing that shit. I'm out. All I have is this crossbow right now. So that was funny. Anyway, another big release, let's talk about it, is First Descendant. So, Brock, have you played this at all? Curious?
I sadly haven't gotten a chance to, but I'm going to for the first time tomorrow.
Okay.
But
Sounds
I'm very
good.
excited about it. I've heard a mixture of things of people saying that, oh, it's like Destiny. I'm like, if you weren't expecting that, I don't know what game you're gonna play.
It's a looter shooter. It's a what do you expect?
And I've heard that some people say it's too easy, and some people say it's too hard. So I don't know what to expect.
Interesting.
There's only a few minutes of a few moments of difficulty spiking in that game, I think, for me personally. Red, what did you think?
I think it depends. I mean, if you're following with it appropriately and leveling and paying attention to all the little details, if you're experienced with games like that, then it's going to not be as challenging. If you're someone that's not really experienced with those types of games, like modding your weapons and doing all those things, then that's probably why people would face a challenge. I'm not great at that. Thankfully, my partner yells at me and he'll be like, will you please do this to your weapons? Will you please upgrade this? Will you do this? Because like it's driving him crazy. So that helps me not do so poorly. But yeah, I think it's a really fun game. I think it's aesthetically very nice. The characters are very nice.
They are.
The booty is very nice.
The booty is very nice, I must say. I've gotten all the so far most of the female descendants. I've gotten them, and I'm just like, everybody's got a nice donk. That's just
the biggest takeaway for that game is just booty. That's it.
All right. And also Bunny's cute little laugh that she does every single time.
Oh my god, not the laugh, not the giggle. I can't handle it.
Cute laugh.
Oh,
it's so unhinged. Like I'm just sitting there thinking like this girl ain't sane. She's a little Harley Quinn, but that's okay. That's what we love. Speaking of which, Allie, what did you think?
Yeah, with that giggle though, I'm currently leveling up Bunny, and so I'm like, I'm just gonna have to turn this TV down if I'm gonna be playing at any kind of level. I'm also loving the game. I was a huge fan of Destiny, so I was really excited that this game was released. As for the difficulty, there does seem to be a bit of a scale because I started off by myself, and maybe it's part of I have a little bit of the same problem Red has, where I really don't know what I'm doing in terms of character build with all the extra modificated, which ones will work best together and everything. So I'm kind of clueless to that part. So trying to build stuff together and then go out on these quests by myself, I'm not doing too great. But then, I meet up with everybody else and I'm just kind of like in the background watching everybody else kill. And then it's an easy cakewalk for me because I don't have to do anything because everybody else is already over leveled.
Yeah, everybody else is just going at it and speed running, trying to get that loot. I will say the RNG is a little tough in this game. Like to get Sharon, I got like the first three pieces pretty easily, and then that last piece that I was trying to get, which is the hardest one to get, I had to run that mission like about 20 times.
Yeah,
it seems to be. I think we've had a few people talk about that where they've had to run way more missions than what the percentage says that it is.
Yeah, it's off. It's quite off.
It said like 5 to 20%, so mine was more on the 5% scale, I guess.
Yep.
Anyway,
and I always have bad RNG in any game, so I'm not looking forward to having to do some of these grinds.
Oh my god, that's so true though, because when I was playing Destiny, I remember like I didn't get Gallarhorn until they actually had the quest to get Gallarhorn. Like I didn't even get that.
I never got it until the first time you did that prison.
Yeah, the Prison of Elders or whatever, yeah.
Prison of Elders, yeah. That was the first time I got it in the chest on the bottom.
Dude, I miss Destiny. Like, I might have to get back to it eventually, but this and First Descendant is just making me miss it. But First Descendant for you, Brock, I think it's you'll like it because you'll love it because it's a mixture of Destiny. It's a mixture of like Anthem. To me, there's a lot of Anthem in this game, and it comes out in not like the most obvious way. It's just like it's the way that like the damage numbers appear and everything. It just reminds me so much of Anthem. And like certain effects and stuff in the game just remind me of Anthem so much. Nice. So it's kind of like that, and it's of course a little bit like Warframe as well. Which okay, this is my Warframe rant. Okay, Warframe is a decent game. It's decent. I like it. I love the traversal, like everybody says, it's pretty awesome to just slide around and jump around and stuff like that. The thing of it is, the lore to me and just the way that everything is sort of presented in that game is impenetrable. I find it to be the most nonsensical crap I have ever seen in a video game, and I just don't know if I love that in terms of like being someone who is, who's taken breaks. I mean, I played the game at multiple times, fits and starts, and every time I go back in there, I'm just like, there is so much information going on right now. And it's very hard to make a new Warframe. It's hard to grind it out because you don't really know where to go, or maybe it's just because inexperience,
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's kind of what I think of Warframe. Like I enjoy the game and I like it a lot. The aesthetics aren't maybe not the greatest, it ain't my type in terms of like the look of everything. Like the character designs and mecha designs and everything are just so super weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like on that one on like it's not Venus, it's one of the moons or something, and they have like these pod people that come out of like seed pods and stuff, and they look humanoid, but they're also like their lower body is just like a seed pod plant thing, and like they're gigantic human looking weird hybrid people, and I'm just like, I don't know. How much drugs do I have to be on to get this game? Okay, you're like, how much crack should I be smoking right now? Anyway, don't smoke crack, kids. It's not good for you. Nancy Reagan said so in the 80s. Okay, anyway, let's move on, shall we? Let's see. What else did we have to talk about this week? I think beyond those things, I will say there were a couple of trailers that I also liked, or that I'm interested in, let's say. One is we're getting another character for Tekken 8. This one is a character from Tekken 7. It's Lydia Sobieska. She is the warrior prime minister of Poland. I'm not even kidding. She's a prime minister who fights using karate. It's amazing. Anyway, one of my favorite characters in Tekken 7. She was kind of my main, if we want to go by that. I didn't really play online, though, so, because I'm scared of getting my ass kicked. Anyway, any opinions on Lydia? Because, first of all, she's hot. Secondly, she's an awesome character. Honestly, I really do like her gameplay and everything. She's kind of good for, like, someone like me who's not, like, a super, advanced player. But, yeah. Any opinions on her? Because I did share the trailer. Not sure if anybody watched it.
Looks good. Interesting. Fun to try her and play as her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely cute.
A whole lot of 7. So.
Right?
Very cute, for sure.
Yeah, did you play a lot of Tekken 7, Brock? Or did you play it at all?
I did not.
Okay.
I watched someone play the story of it, and then that was about it.
Oh my god, the story though. Tekken 7 had one of the funniest stories because the narrator in the story mode is just like this guy who's reading a newspaper.
I didn't know the need to put a Life is Strange narrator in the middle of Tekken 7, but I was kind of like, okay. And then Kuma's here, and actually the Devil Gene didn't come from Hayachi, came from his wife. And I'm like,
of course.
What
were they thinking with that story mode? It was so funny. They're like,
and then Hayachi loses. What?
Yeah. He lost. He completely lost. He screwed the pooch. He had to go balls out. Anyway, yeah, Tekken 7 was a trip, man, because it was just like, the narrator guy just sitting there going like, and then Kazuya took over the company from his father, Heihachi. He may have murdered him. We don't know. There was no body. There never is. Anyway.
I will say, though, one thing I appreciate about Tekken is that everyone has Babel fish. They don't make everyone speak English. They speak actual language of their native country. You have Hayachi speaking fluent Japanese at Nina, who's speaking English, and they just understand each other.
Yeah, they just understand each other completely. They have like a universal translator, like from Star Trek.
Yeah, it's great.
Lydia does speak like she speaks like Polish, and like I mean that's one of the cool things that they do. Also, that announcer, I love that announcer in these trailers. Is
Ready
like,
for the next battle.
yeah. Oh no, I mean like the announcer in the trailer was like Tekken 8 new challenger. I just love that. It's so great. Anyway, Allie, Red, any opinions on Lydia other than she's hot?
That's all I got for you. I haven't played fighting style games like that since I was very young. It kind of makes me want to, though.
There you go.
Nostalgic reasons, it does kind of.
See, that's where I'm getting you. I'm getting you with the characters. See, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna be like, look at this one I read. What do you think? Anyway,
Well done.
Allie, any opinion, or you don't like fighting games, right? That's not really your favorite genre.
I do not. I barely play them because, like, if I can be beat by a 5-year-old mashing buttons, I don't want to play it. So
That's fair.
the video I never got to because it wasn't posted until like yesterday. In the
Yeah, I
middle of a
didn't
big, long
post
day,
it
so-
until it didn't come out until like a couple of days ago. So, anyway,
yeah, I
it's
don't
fine.
even know who the hottie is you're talking about.
Well, I mean, in the thumbnail, she is cute. I'll give her that. All right, next one up is a revival, if you will, of Double Dragon called Double Dragon Revive. Seems to make sense. This is being done by Arc System Works, who are also a fighting game developer as well. They also did Double Dragon 4, which is, this series is very long running since I was a kid, since like the NES era and the arcades and everything. So like it's been 1 week since you looked at me. Anyway, no, Double Dragon Revive is a very 3D looking version of the Double Dragon franchise, most of which has been in 2D. They just released a game last year that was supposed to be kind of like, I think it was called like Double Dragon Gaiden or something. It was like a very like indie 2D beat 'em up, kind of looked like Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Which I thought was really cool. It's an interesting direction to take the franchise. And then, of course, they announced this one, where it's going to be Arc System Works, and it's going to be very 3D looking. Some people are complaining that it's not very detailed, which I can kind of see their point. The characters, maybe like are not as super impressive as like Guilty Gear would be, or like anything that Arc basically touches. So it's a little bit of a tough sell, especially for those who know the franchise. But I'm curious, do any of you have any history with Double Dragon, or do you remember the really bad 90s movie with like Mark Dacascos and Robert Patrick?
Yes,
very vaguely.
I have fond memories of Bimmy and Jimmy.
Bimmy and Jimmy. Yes.
I played it a little bit when I was younger. I was like super attached. I played through Neon, which was a ton of fun.
Do you guys remember, like, there was, like, I want to say almost like a decade ago, I remember being on Facebook, and, like, there was this, one of the enemies is this big dude, and his name is Abobo. And every single time, like, there was a Facebook posting, and somebody did, like, an indie game project where you were playing as Abobo, and they posted in character as Abobo, so they were like, Abobo likes pizza, and stuff like that. It was like the Hulk or something. It was so freaking hilarious. I remember that, and I just remember thinking, like, oh man, if only we'd gotten the Abobo franchise that we all deserved. Anyway. Red, any thoughts on this one? Double Dragon, do you remember this?
Oh, I never. That's not something I played. I vaguely remember what you're talking about with the movie, but like, no.
Yeah. The movie is such a
For
treat.
as long as it's been
Like a fever dream
around,
for me.
I am surprised I do not have more experience with this. Like, especially as much as I've heard other people talk about it.
Yeah.
But my experience with the franchise is very, very limited.
Mhm.
I would say, like, if anybody is curious, they should go back and play like the one that was released last year, the 2023 release, which was, I think, Double Dragon Gaiden. Like I said, I think it was the name of it. Also, Double Dragon Neon was an interesting game. That one I do have on Steam, so if anybody ever wants to play, we'll get you that one. Anywho, apart from that, let's go into now what we have been playing. If we've been playing anything recently, I want to give you guys an opportunity to just kind of talk about it and just sort of, see where everyone's at and what we've been doing with our time off here. Allie, let's start with you. What have you been playing recently beyond First Descendant? Because I know you just talked about that one.
Right. I've been playing actually a lot of the older games because, I'm more of an old school gamer. So a lot of the older games that where a lot of good memories come from. I've been playing through Perfect Dark again, trying to beat
Nice.
everything on the hardest settings, which has been extra infuriating lately. I am
Mhm.
currently stuck in Area 51 and can't seem to get past anything there.
Oh no.
Uh, I've also been back into hyperfixating on Minecraft. I've had a
Oh,
world that I've
yes.
had going for a little while, so I've been expanding and playing around in that.
Nice. All right.
Also been playing Fortnite with Red,
There you
which
go.
is almost a given in our community, but
Yep.
it should be
have
said.
been playing the Fortnite. Yes, we have. Brock,
Unfortunately.
what have you been playing, Brock? Anything?
Recently I've been polishing off the platinum for Stellar Blade.
Nice.
On my,
Ooh.
Good job.
it's so that game is so damn good. On my stream, I recently started the old Xbox 360 PS3 era Deadpool game because the movie's coming out.
Yes. I love that
That is
game.
it's so cheesy. It's kind of
so
sad that it's the game that basically killed High Moon Studios.
I know.
But yeah, no, it's a ton of fun. And then I'm gonna start getting through backlogs of games that have looked interesting and I wanted to play. I just didn't get to, like Atlas Fallen, Immortals of Avium, and some other
Alice Fallen is
random
good.
backlogs like that. But yeah, just patiently scratching stuff off the list and then start, like, First Descendant obviously will be a game that I'll be playing in between stuff like that. But yeah.
And we're going to be playing Alan Wake as well. Alan Wake 1 and 2,
Yes.
the
As
remastered
soon as I'm
one.
done with
and-
Deadpool, I'll be starting it up. One stream.
Yeah, because we're going to be doing a podcast in the future with Josh and Crystal about it. And Red, what have you been playing? Anything?
In between the misery and madness of Fortnite, I've been like trying to chill myself out with some
Same.
cozy games. So we've been, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it like Palia. Been playing a bunch of that. Dreamlight Valley to try to, decompress from
Yes.
just, I don't know what's going on in Fortnite lately, but it has been so sweaty.
Oh, it's been sweaty as hell.
So it's nice to chill sometimes.
Yeah.
Definitely going to be playing Once Human.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. We're not gatekeepers here at Renegade Pop Culture. We don't believe in that whole thing about like oh, cozy games aren't real games or whatever. If you guys want to play a walking simulator, go play a walking simulator. Some of them are really good. Like some of them have good stories in them. Like like Gone Home. I mean, that was one of the best games I've ever played. It was so interesting. And a really unique story.
You guys want a unique story in a walking simulator? Play
Yeah.
Fort Solace. I think I pressed 2
Ooh.
buttons in that entire game.
You know what?
I'm
That
not
did look
even
really
kidding.
good, honestly. That did.
But it's really good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. As for
I did
me,
remember.
go ahead, Allie. Go ahead.
I did remember that there was another game I did start to check out, and I actually want to get back to. That was really interesting. The Robin Hood Sherwood Builders.
Ooh. I do. Not know
I
that
had
game.
seen it advertised just recently coming to out on Game Pass. So I'm like, well, this looks fun. I always like bow and arrow stuff.
That's cool.
It's been pretty interesting. I guess the whole premise is Robin Hood's basically wherever he had set up his base had just been pretty much razed by everybody. He has to start all over. He's in Sherwood Forest and he has to build this whole community or, putting up homes for people to come and then, shops for them to work in. They're out having to hunt for food, which me and deer are not getting along, which fair enough. I'm trying to shoot them in the head with an arrow. So not a big friendship building moment, but it has been really interesting to play.
They're like, oh no, it's that Robin Hood guy. Yeah, so that sounds really cool though, honestly. That sounds like an interesting game. As for me, I have also been participating off and on in the madness that is Fortnite. It's always an interesting test of my patience and
Mhm.
intestinal fortitude, so to speak, to use an old wrestling term. Um, no, but I mean, Fortnite. You know what though? It's fun. It's fun to play with friends, and it's fun to get infuriated at all the other players that you think are cheating. That you're pretty sure are
They
cheating.
clearly are.
Clearly. Like, and by the way, Fortnite cheaters, I have a message for you. We got 2 words for you. Guns up. No, suck it. There you go. Okay, so another wrestling reference. There you go. I've also been playing.
Do you remember the old video, the old YouTube video where the guy got his WoW account canceled by his mom, and he comes running into his room and shoves his remote up his bum?
Remote.
That's what playing in Fortnite has felt like lately.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
I agree, very much so. Also been playing some Palia with Red. We've been going hunting and trying to get plushies and stuff like that. See what I mean? Like, cozy games are fun, and by the way, there is gameplay in them. So all you guys who say there's no
It takes
gameplay in
skill,
cozy games,
right?
come
Like
on.
some of them, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, Palia's a lot of fun, honestly. That game's been really cool. I wish I had more money to get more skins and stuff in that game, honestly, because some of them are really cute. Anyway, Disney Dreamlight Valley, of course, that's been a lot of fun, just playing that. I mean, it's cool just to hang out, you know, you get to hang out. I get to hang out with Ariel, my mermaid girlfriend, so, you know, that's always fun. Anyway, kidding, y'all. And yeah, very much kidding. I heard you, Red. I heard that. Also, just started up a different game last night. I was playing a little bit of it because I was like, oh, geez, do I want to play this on stream or not? It's called Outcast: A New Beginning. It's one of those THQ Nordic releases. I played just the beginning part of it, and I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to play this on stream. It sort of reminds me a little bit of like a very janky like Avatar game, like Avatar is in the James Cameron Avatar. So it's kind of interesting to me. And visually much more competently done than I expected it to be, honestly. Like, I was like, oh wow, is this game going to be just full of jank all over the place? And it has a little bit of that, but it's actually pretty well done. There's a weird audio glitch to it though. Just so you guys know, if you're playing, if you ever decide to play it. What else have I been playing other than First Descendant? First Descendant's been scratching that looter shooter itch that I have right now, so that's always good. Also, I should put some cream on that. There is a game called Wanted Dead from some of the same developers that worked on like Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive over at Tecmo back in the day. I played some of that. I played a few hours of it. My dog is barking. Don't know if you guys can hear that. Anyway, that's just her barking. She's saying hello. She wanted to be on the podcast, I guess. But yeah, Wanted Dead is one of those games where it's kind of a third person action game, a lot of shooting and melee action. Some of the melee combos are kind of cool, and it's a very weird, very Japanese game because like your character is like this, she's like a cybernetically enhanced cop, and she has her gun and she has her sword, her katana sword, and she also has like little cat ears that she wears whenever she's going around murdering people. It's a lot of fun.
Love that.
When you go back to the police station in between levels, there are these mini games that you play. One of which is a claw catcher kind of a game. You know those games where you maneuver like a mechanical claw and you're supposed to grab like a toy with it. You know, you lower it down and it grabs a toy automatically and just kind of takes it to the open spot, and like a redemption machine almost. They have that. They have like a shooting range, and they have like this weird like anime thing that happens to your character randomly where she'll just fall to her knees and collapse, and then all of a sudden you're in this anime like weird prologue thing. It's so strange. One of the strangest games I've ever played. And it's kind of like Kunitsugami in that sense of like, there's so much going on and it's just weird. Beyond that, yeah, I mean, I'll just say First Descendant has been taking up a lot of my time, and hopefully we get to play some Once Human today. But yeah, First Descendant has been very fun for me. I'm excited to get to the end game so that we have a little bit harder content, because for me it's been kind of an easy thing. Unless I take like a level 5 character into a level 50 zone, then you're like screwed.
Right.
But like apart from that, it's been a pretty easy game. Like it's definitely my style of game that I like to play. So I've been enjoying it, and it's fun to unlock the characters and stuff. You got to let them cook in the oven for 16 hours before you get them, though. So that's a little irritating. But it's a free to play game, so can't complain there. Moving on. Unless anybody else wants to, do you guys have anything else that you've been playing or want to speak on? Or
No, I'm good.
No.
Okay. So moving on then. We have kind of a feature topic on this podcast every single week. We're gonna just take like an issue from the world of gaming and maybe just expand upon it a little bit. So for this week, what I was thinking of is basically, let's talk about game preservation. It's kind of a hot topic, especially like given the things that have happened over the past few years. The things that are going on with like the Internet Archive, where people are saying that like, this is like a virtual library essentially. And there's a lot of like lawmakers and a lot of companies that are very upset at the archive for like copyright infringement and everything like that. But then here's the thing, it's not so much about infringement, it's more about, to me anyway, like I understand what those companies are saying in terms of the copyright law and everything, but in terms of like, how else are you going to preserve books and movies and things like that? Everything is online now. So if you want to preserve things for the future, for future generations and stuff like that, where else are you going to put them? Considering that the companies themselves don't seem to want to do it, even though you
don't need to pay for a subscription fee if you have it yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. Like I said, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, what I use the archive for, especially a lot for me, is like old gaming magazines and stuff that I used to have, hard copies of, but a lot of them are either lost to the ether or they've been lost in moves or whatever. So, and I miss that stuff. And sometimes I want to go back and reread it. And the archive has a lot of the old magazines that I used to have and I used to enjoy reading. So like sometimes I want to go back and do stuff like that. A lot of people use it for books and a lot of people use it for like, and I understand the fact that like, the authors want to get paid, and that I totally agree with. But the thing of it is, how else are you going to have these books and movies and magazines available? I just don't know. I don't know the answer to the question of preservation or to the paradox of it, if you want to say. But I know that it's something that's vital for like, especially for the gaming industry and especially for console games, where if you don't have the console, you can't play them. So a lot of people are turning to things like emulators and stuff like that, which is a legal gray area. Recognizing that to the fullest, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I mean, if you want to play like Vector Man on Sega Genesis or whatever, or if you want to play like the original Donkey Kong Country like on Super NES, like unless you want to pull out your old system that's probably got all kinds of dust in his, all the discoloration on it like my old Super NES used to have. What else are you gonna do? Anyway, thoughts on this. Allie, let's start with you. What do you think of game preservation as a whole, and where do you stand on that?
I have a lot of frustrations with the companies that are just not wanting to bring up all their, older games and bring them, either make them more available or available on their current systems. It's really frustrating. Like forever, I have been waiting and wanting to play two specific games that were on the Xbox. And even one of them's even an older throwback game, but Gauntlet Dark Legacy and Hunter the Reckoning, two of my favorite games on the Xbox, and they have never been backwards compatible, never available in all the older game markets that they have. Like, if I want to go get it, like as you said, I'm gonna have to go out and get the old console and play it. I've even tried emulators, and for whatever reason, none of the emulators have worked for Gauntlet Dark Legacy, so that's not even an option for me, even if I want to go into that gray area.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been super, super frustrating. Like, why not put in the effort to, like, people want to play your games? It's obvious they're only going to, well, we're only going to if it's going to be extra profitable for us. But there's clearly people who want these games preserved. There's enough of them that are willing to put in the work, probably for free for you, if you just let them put in the games. And even if you want to put it behind a subscription service, fine, but at least have it available so that we can keep all these games moving forward instead of just lost into the ether for no real reason other than it's not profitable enough for you.
Yeah.
That's my whole thought.
Brock, next to you, what do you think about game preservation and also just the whole issue of it?
I think that everything should be available to buy. And if you want to do just subscriptions, you can do just subscriptions, but you should not be forced to only do a subscription to get a certain game.
Yes.
That's my opinion. And my opinion is that people that speak on it, like, I can't remember what the Ubisoft representative was, but he said that you should get used to not owning your games, and like you should get used to me not buying anything from you.
Yeah, exactly. Jeez.
No. If at any random time you can just yank something away that someone bought, like I can't remember what it was. The Crew.
Yeah, The Crew
was being pulled out of people's Steam libraries.
That's ridiculous.
It's wild.
That's should not be legal.
Yeah.
They physically, or I should say, bought the thing with money. Are they getting refunded? No. This is acting like it never existed.
No, it's like treating it like you rented it, basically. Like, yeah.
That's unreal to me. And now that's becoming more and more simple. And like the thing with piracy, I don't remember who said the quote first, but it's treated as a joke, but it's being true. If purchasing isn't owning, then piracy isn't theft.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
I agree.
It's the truth. Yeah. Yeah.
You should not be mad for someone that's stealing something.
Well said.
You don't own it when you bought it. just saying. That is not how that works.
Yeah.
And like on Etsy right now, I'm not saying this is a plug, you can get a modified PS2 with every game that has ever been on it for like $100.
Holy crap, that's amazing.
Dang.
It works.
Right?
I'm not saying I bought one, but I can tell you it works.
Okay. All right.
Saying anything, but just so you know, it
Not
works.
saying anything.
Good.
For legal reasons.
But it's just like you could get all these people that like that they set, like, just you go to a random mall, you could go to anyone that for $50 will give you something that has, they're lying that it has 6,000 games on it, but it has like 600 games on it for like $20. And you have to search through the crap, but they're like, no, you need to pay $40 a month to get all these games that are super hard to put on your system when you could get all of them for a gigabit. Like all these older games that people want to play. Why is it hard to do it? I should pay $1 a month for something where I could fit 600 games on a USB drive. Yeah. Like older games that people just want to play. It's ridiculous. And I know you can't do that with newer games, but some of the older ones, like I had to sacrifice a child to be Legends of Dragoon. That until like 2 years ago, I could play that game that took nothing on the system. It's preservation is also a thing that people in the industry talk about in ways to make it so that a lot of customers don't understand, and then they get cheered for it. For example, I had so much faith that, well, Uncle Phil's one of them. I had so much faith that finally Sarah Bond was going to be a good person in that pool of people over at Microsoft. And then in one of her first big presentation, she goes on for 15 minutes about how game preservation is the most important thing in the world and how Xbox is on top of it more than anyone else, and then happily introduces 3 digital-only consoles.
Yeah.
Sarah, I had a lot of hope for you. My God, I did. But are we actually kidding at this point?
If we could, if there was some guarantee that like when you buy that license, it's a lifetime license, you know, like when you're buying digital games, like you are buying a license to play the game, and I understand that. I'm someone who has, you know, kind of gone to digital, and the reason for that is because like, you know, moving around a lot. So essentially, like it's a little bit easier for me to deal with it that way. However, and also, you know, PC releases now. Like I mainly just use my PC for gaming now at this point. So everything on Steam is just digital only. But Red, I want to get your thoughts on this topic as well.
I mean, I think everyone kind of covered a lot of
yeah.
And I completely agree, but it's funny because I was watching some of the videos that you posted, and I'm not the most nostalgic person. So when we're talking about like older games and like being sad of them getting lost and just not being able to experience them anymore, I don't get super bummed out. But then in one of those videos, a game called Illusion of Gaia popped up, and I was like, oh no.
Yes.
That was kind of like the game that sparked my love for action roleplay, you know, and I can't play it. I can't find a way to experience that game again, and
there's no way to play it.
It makes me very sad.
It's ridiculous. Well, see, that's the reason why I shared that video.
I knew.
I knew. I remembered Illusion of Gaia was one of your favorites, and you know, and knowing the status of that game now, where it's like you can't even play it anymore.
It's just gone forever.
Yeah, it's just so stupid. And like for me, it's like one of those videos that I shared was about Panzer Dragoon Saga, which is, you know, Panzer Dragoon is a series that is a franchise that I love very much. And I wish that we had seen more releases in that series in particular. Like maybe Sega will revive it eventually in the future. Maybe they'll re-release some stuff. Sega as a company has a huge backlog, you know, just to name one particular company. And if you're looking at what they're doing now, they're going to kind of start bringing back their old franchises and licenses and stuff like that, and try to, you know, do new games based on those, which is great and all, but I would love to see, I mean, they've done a better job of re-releasing older games than a lot of other companies have, I think, in my opinion. But like I would love to see like a Panzer Dragoon collection or something, you know, like Sega, come on. Like, you know one company that's really great at stuff like this,
people make fun of them for it.
Capcom, yeah.
They will re-release literally everything under the sun, and then people will rip on them for not bringing out anything new when they release about 5 games a year. Yeah.
And Capcom's another one, you know, like I was talking about Sega there with Panzer Dragoon, like and Gun Valkyrie and like all those cool games. Like I loved Gun Valkyrie, even though it was crazy insane to control and everything. It had a weird control scheme, but it was an awesome game back on the original Xbox. But like, if you look at Capcom and what they do, they release Mega Man X anthologies, they release Mega Man Battle Network anthologies, Mega Man anthologies, you know, stuff like the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection you got.
Every old Resident Evil game.
Every old Resident Evil game, you know, they're remaking things. They are putting money and effort into this stuff, and of course, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, which I'm super excited for. They got the arcade stadium, they got the Fighting Collection. I mean, the only thing that's missing out of Capcom right now is Capcom vs. SNK. That's all we need. And I think that's gonna come. I don't want to jinx it, but I think it's coming. But you know, I mean, like seriously, with the MVC collection, I'm gonna be picking that up. To me, preservation is so vital to the industry, and it's something where I really want them to, like Brock said, make it available to buy instead of taking it away from people. Like, what are you guys doing? You know, how else am I going to experience a game that I maybe missed out on like 30 years ago or whatever? Like Parasite Eve. I have never played Parasite Eve, and I want to play Parasite Eve so badly. And it's like, you know, you got to turn to emulators because that's all that is available. It's like Sony and every single company, Sony, Sega, Capcom, Microsoft, whatever, you know, if you guys want to make money off of this stuff, make it available to people. People will play this. They will pay for it because it's something that we all love, and it's something that brings us back to the old days of our childhoods and everything. It just makes sense to me anyway as a consumer. But sadly, we have to turn to gray area things in order to get it to be able to experience these things. And I think that's really sad.
And here's one thing I don't get is that, we're very clearly in the age now where millennials are into the part of having their own adult money. They're starting to take over the companies and whatnot. Everybody's about nostalgia.
Yeah.
So I would think that no matter what you do, as long as you are cashing in at any part of that, you should be able to get, money from it because everybody wants their childhood back, especially millennials.
Yeah.
So, just goes back to my whole point of, why hold back on releasing all of these games and making them available, because there is always going to be somebody out there who's going to give your money back for putting in the work to put it out there.
That's right. And like Red and Brock and everybody, like you guys, and Allie, like you were saying, there are people that will volunteer their time to bring these games up to snuff and make them playable on modern consoles and things like that, and modern PCs. So I don't think it's a question of if there's a will to do it. I think there is a huge, a huge number of people that would be willing to do it or willing to work at it and put in the work for it. But it's just these companies, they're so concerned about money and profit and everything, they don't care. These big corporations are not your friend, like I always say. Mm-hmm. And this just proves it even more so. There is another aspect to this whole, debate, if you will, where some people are arguing that, it's a digital versus physical thing. I'm curious to hear, Brock, your thoughts on this. Like you mentioned it before, where Sarah Bond was announcing the 3 Xbox digital consoles, all at once here. What are your thoughts on digital versus physical, and where people say sometimes physical games will degrade or consoles will degrade over time, which I have seen, with my own consoles. Some of them don't work anymore, but
I have seen that, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
When you go out of your way to make it so you can't physically stick a thing in a console, you're not trying to preserve the fact that people can buy things physically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And older consoles, cool. That is true. But I also have an N6. I have an SNES and an N64 that were brand new the day I bought them.
Yes.
They do still work. Can they
Nice.
go off any day? Yes. But the people that do want them, you could also make another physical version that a person can own to play those things, like say on a Switch. You could put every single N64 game that ever existed on a cartridge and say, guess what? You buy this, it's yours.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You can keep it. It doesn't matter. If they want to make the options better for you to actually keep them and they cared, they'd make them.
Agreed.
It's not even a physical versus digital. It's an ownership thing. I will say that digital is releasing digital only consoles is trying to make it so that people naturally don't even think of trying to own something, because guess what?
Mm-hmm.
The more you don't look at it, the more you don't think you own it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just gonna throw that out there.
Mm-hmm.
You're not trying to preserve it if you're going out of your way to take away the option.
Mm-hmm.
And degrading, that argument to me is unbelievably stupid, because nothing is built to last anymore. So if you go just off of that, it doesn't work. On a small side tangent, at the house that I live in, 3 years ago, I had to buy my first snowblower. We had a snowblower that worked for 25 years, and sometimes we didn't go a year without changing oil in it. Things aren't meant to last anymore. So whenever everyone's like, well, yeah, my stuff breaks down and it doesn't work anymore, they don't make it to last 20 years anymore.
True.
There's no point. They don't make money that way.
Yeah.
So to me, that argument it boils my piss in a way that we're just like, well, I shouldn't buy it if it's going to break. I'm like, cool. They're getting you to do exactly what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think cell phones have 2 to 3 year lifespans? I mean, we pay thousands of dollars for these little supercomputers in our pockets and stuff, and then they just break after 2 to 3 years, or they're not
come out with a new
updated at
version
all.
every year if they wanted it to last.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with you there. And by the way, the physical console I was talking about that didn't work anymore was my NES back in the day. So, like, I think everybody's NES had the problem of not reading the cartridges. You know, you had to blow on them or whatnot, which is probably the worst
Like,
thing to
even
do.
newer consoles on days you got them, does everyone magically forget the Red Ring of Death was an actual thing installed in the
Oh
system?
my god, yes. Oh my god. Did people
Like-
forget about the Red Ring of Death? Seriously.
I
That was
have not.
great. Like, I've had people whose friends, like, I played the 3, like, I fell out of gaming for a while because of, like, just living situations in a
Yeah.
bad time with, like, a divorce and stuff. But then when I finally got back in, it was around the PS3 and Xbox 360,
Mhm.
and my stepdad had a PS3, so I borrowed his and then got back into that, but my friends played on Xbox 360.
Mhm.
And when they're telling me that they have a console for a week and it red rings, and they're like, yeah, I just got to get a new one.
No.
What in the actual, they're like, the PS3 isn't too? They're like, no, that wasn't an installed, like, that wasn't a thing that accidentally happened on a console. That had to be a possibility.
Yeah. I remember, does anybody remember, like, the old PlayStation back in 95, the original PlayStation, where, like, for mine, they had a problem with the CD, with the reader, you know, the disc reader. And, like, in order to play games, I remember having to turn my PlayStation upside down in order to get it to work.
Oh, I had to
Oh,
get my
gosh.
eye on my PS2 readjusted once.
Yeah. So, I
It
mean,
worked fine after that, but I had to get it fixed.
you know, when people bring up the fact that, oh, the consoles degrade and everything like that, or like physical stuff degrades, like physical stuff sometimes it just has issues. Like, you know, whenever they release things like the Red Ring of Death, like that, like flipping the PlayStation over to get it to work, or standing it on its side to get it to work. I mean, like, do people just not remember all of this? Because it did happen, you know? We weren't just all
You
stoned
know,
out
we
of our
have to
minds in the
remember now
90s.
that a lot of these people that are making these complaints were born in 2000.
Yeah. This is true. Allie and Red, any thoughts on this particular side of the issue, or?
Yeah, actually, I have a couple stories going the other way. You know,
Okay.
My Nintendo 64 I had gotten fairly around the release time, brand new out of the box. For whatever reason, you know, of course, I had Mario and GoldenEye for it. Were my first games. First time playing through GoldenEye, you know, love the game and everything. Ever since that first playthrough, my system, for whatever reason, has a lock. Well, I call it a lock, but any other game I tried putting in, if I hadn't played it for at least 24 hours, no game would work. No matter how much you blew in it, no matter what you did to it, would not work until you put GoldenEye in, turn the system on, let the game like just get to the like logo screen. Then you could turn it off, put in another game, it'll work just fine.
Oh my god, it's so weird.
Hell.
That is so weird.
Yeah,
That's so
I have
strange.
no idea, but from out of the box, it kept doing that, and it's been that way for years. I have zero idea why. You know, so I kind of am not super adamant about having physical things because every physical console game, something I've always had some issue I've come across.
Mhm.
So, like, you know, I am more for the digital age, but, you know, as we touched on before, with the not owning the something physical that they can take away does worry, you know, me a lot about, you know, my libraries that I have and what's going to get taken away from me. But I would like to see something going forward, something more, I guess, digital, but with, you know, like I guess we've said, the promise of actually owning it and it not disappearing one day.
Yeah, very true. Red, any particular story on that front, or?
No, I think everyone kind of covered.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, what do you guys think of, like, so there are sites like and there are companies like GOG, you know, like Good Old Games, who are trying to preserve, at least on the PC side, they're trying to preserve and trying to sell a bunch of these older titles, like like the original, like let's say Star Wars Dark Forces, or like just games that are older that are not being re-released for consoles or are not getting remasters and updates and things like that. What do you think of the work that they are doing in terms of trying to preserve like gaming and gaming libraries and stuff like that? Brock, do you have any thoughts on that?
Oh, I appreciate anyone who's trying to preserve things. I just make stuff be available. Like there's like brought up. I try and tell people that one of the best games I've ever played in my life, there's no actual way to play it unless you got a copy of it, and that's the God of War ripoff movie tie-in game for Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
And there's just certain ways that unless you get through one of these companies, you're not going to get it. Because you go online, everyone makes a joke about finding $1,000 copy of Conker's Bad Fur Day. You're not going to get it. So I appreciate any company that tries it.
And that actually reminds me of something I was going to bring up with the preservation and stuff. And you were talking about, going to need the old console and the game and stuff. There's a problem in there with some of these games that were like had limited releases. Like one game that I went a long time searching for was Snowboard Kids 2. They didn't put out a lot of copies of it, but it is one of my favorite 64 games. And if I want to go looking for one, I am paying way over what the original price for this game is now because there are so few of them out there. And you run into that problem if you're going to stick with trying to keep everything, physical and in the original conditions that they were. That if it was something that was a limited release, then you're just going to be paying so much more just to be able to have the option to play it.
That's so true. Red, any thoughts?
Like Ali said, it makes it really frustrating how, like, essentially with some of those games, if you're not someone that's able to just shell out mountains of cash, you're unable to have that access to it. And that's a real bummer.
Ooh, yeah, I mean, I don't think that this is an easy issue to solve or to come up with a really great solution because the companies themselves don't want to come up with good solutions. Instead, they're closing like the marketplaces on Sony for like PSP and things like that, and instead of allowing people to buy them even digitally, they're not allowing that. So I'm happy to see like sites like GOG, like Good Old Games, that are still keeping a lot of older games, in particular PC games, alive. And they hold a lot of sales and things like that. And it's like you can get classic games that you want to play if you're into that sort of thing, for cheap, for a pittance. So, I appreciate the work that they're doing, and like Brock said, any company that tries to put forth, game preservation or tries to like advance that, I think is a good thing. But there's clearly more work that needs to be done. And one of the ideas that I have for my own stream is that I want to go back through and look through like old gaming magazines and stuff and kind of like just talk about like the things that they covered back then and just kind of have a little nostalgia trip. I mean, it's nostalgic for me, but it's also like people need to learn about these old games. That's another thing too, is that we're going to lose that knowledge over time of like what these games were like and what it was like to be a gamer back in the early 90s or whatever, or when fighting games were just starting out to be, big grandiose things, or like on Xbox Live Arcade. I mean, I remember when that was out in the 360 days and you had re-releases like the Simpsons arcade game and like the X-Men arcade game and stuff. And what happened to those? Those are gone now. Like, we don't even have access to them anymore. So I would like to see, and those were two games that I played in the arcades a lot as a kid and as a young, dude. And, I would like to see them come back one day, just in some form. That's why I'm excited to see like Marvel vs. Capcom get a re-release, which I'm going to talk about all the time. You won't hear me shutting up about it because it's so awesome. And like, like a game like Lollipop Chainsaw and another game like Shadows of the Damned they're both gonna get like re-releases and hopefully people will respond. I believe that there's an audience for this. If you look at Shredder's Revenge or you look at the upcoming Power Rangers beat 'em up game, like there's an audience for this stuff. And I hope that companies realize that and maybe stop like disregarding their own consumers a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was a big topic. Okay, let's lighten things up for the ending of this podcast here. Just, is there anything in particular that you guys are looking forward to that's coming out, or anything that you would like to play that maybe you haven't had the chance to? Red, let's start with you. What do you think? Anything coming up?
I feel like I watched you guys watching those.
Yeah.
I don't know. They were showing a bunch of games, and there was a
Summer
few,
Games
but
Fest,
honestly, I honestly can't remember. There was for sure. There was like a bunch of them, but I can't honestly remember. There was a whole bunch coming out that looked really interesting. But probably the number one game that I've been waiting for, but I've been waiting for it for like 20 years now.
God.
So I don't know how.
It's been
I don't know that that's ever gonna happen because it's literally been so long in the making with so many on and off issues. The Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. So I don't know. We'll see if that releases. That the first one was my all-time favorite game ever. So I still am holding out foolish hope.
I hope it's good. That's all I can say.
I know. It doesn't look like it's going to be, but let's,
I feel like they need to rework a whole bunch of stuff from what I've seen of it, but what I saw of it was months ago, so maybe they've been working on it. I hope so. Anyway, we'll
pray for me.
I know. I'm really right there with you. Allie, anything that you're looking forward to playing, or?
Well, I do currently have installed that I haven't gotten around to playing. The Little Kitty Big City.
Nice,
That I'm still wanting to go check out. I did see. I don't know if we've mentioned this before. I've at least talked about it in the community. In October, the Starship Troopers is releasing a game that I'm kind of excited about, since Helldivers was a big thing. So I kind of want to check out what Starship Troopers has got.
Yep.
So I'm pretty excited about that.
Awesome. Brock, anything?
Black Myth Wukong, obviously, I'm looking quite forward to. And what was a game series which I originally ignored because I thought I would hate it from the art style, and now it became one of, if not my top 3 favorite game series of all time. I'm looking forward to Double Exposure, Life is Strange. Really bad. Like, I'm not a pre-order person, but just the fact that I don't want to get spoiled, I'm pre-ordering to get those 2 episodes early. I'm excited.
That's awesome. All right. For me personally, it's got to be the Marvel vs. Capcom collection when that comes out, the Lollipop Chainsaw remaster when that comes out. Which I definitely need to play that on stream, I think. Gonna miss the music from the original release though. God. What else do we have that's coming out? I want to get back into Destiny 2, so I'm gonna have to probably get the final shape and probably play through that and catch up a little bit because I know it's already ongoing. Yeah, I mean, apart from that, Angerfoot looks like a cool little first-person shooter where you just kick things and kick down doors and everything. That looks like a fun little indie game. Also, I know that this is farther out in the future, but Doom: The Dark Ages, because I've been playing through 2016 again, and it's been so much fun. Red can tell you that there was one day where I was playing that. Everybody else was playing like Dreamlight Valley and stuff, and I was playing Doom, and I was just like, like, this is my cozy game, and and it was so funny because like at one point I was in the middle of just shooting demons and everything, and Mick Gordon's music was going off in my eardrums, and I was just like sitting there going like, I just let out the most maniacal evil laugh, and that never happens. And it was just one of the best moments that I've had in gaming this whole year, just going back and replaying that game. So I love 2016 so much. I love it more than Eternal, to be honest, and I really liked Eternal for what it was. But Dark Ages looks like it's closer to 2016. It's a more grounded experience, not so much with the platforming, which is nice. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Also, there's a bit of an indie game going around that's on, I found on Twitter. I will not call it X. I'm not Elon Musk.
No.
That's called Spine, and Spine. And it's just this really cool looking third person character action game with a lot of martial arts influenced and everything. And they got like stunt performers doing this. I don't know where they're getting the budget for this game, but it looks amazing. Looks really well done. So if you guys have a chance, look up Spine on Twitter. The game, Spine the game. Because it's a pretty awesome looking, basically 3D action, action romp essentially. Their handle is Play Spine. That's their handle on Twitter. So, yes.
Even though you don't like it, it's not nice to dead name a social media.
Wow. Wow. Is that where we're going with this? Okay.
Wow.
Oh.
You went there.
I love it. Okay, guys, on that note, this has been a really fun conversation. Thank you so much for participating. And this has been actually a pretty decent length of an episode here. This is kind of what I want going forward. So, I'm pretty happy about that. That's what she said. I know.
Hey.
Where can everybody find you? Allie, let's start with you. Where can everybody find you online? Can we find you online is the question.
Yes, you can find me mainly with my friends. I don't have a huge presence online myself, but I am involved with lovely Neos here. I am also involved with Red's community as her lead moderator. I can also be found in Crafty Jackalope streams, Marshy Marrows, and sometimes when he doesn't stream late, Rinkoff.
Nice.
I am usually moderators in the chat, just helping keep things going along and making sure everybody behaves.
Shout out to Rin, who couldn't be here, Rinkoth, who couldn't be here, but he wanted to. So shout out to him, and hopefully we'll be able to get him on one of these podcasts eventually in the future. Brock, where can everybody find you?
You can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero, mainly on Twitch and YouTube. And if anyone is fans of Ruby, I will be giving away autographs of 2 of the main voice actors on my stream at the end of this month. All you need to do is be subscribed and be watching.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's so awesome, man. The artwork on those is amazing too.
Yeah, they're absolute sweethearts in person, by the way. If anyone has a chance to meet Kara Ellerby or Aaron Zek, they're absolute sweethearts.
Brock, by the way, when I was going through like a hell of a time a couple years ago, now it's been a couple years, I feel. He and a bunch of the people over at Renegade Pop Culture, our team here, they basically got me like a signed Sarah Michelle Gellar as Buffy portrait, which I still have, and it's awesome, and I love you guys for it. So thank you, Brock, for that. And I just wanted to give you a shout out.
Came up on GalaxyCon Live, which I sniped a bunch of autographs that I wanted, and I'm like, they seriously have Sarah Michelle Gellar signing stuff? I'm like, you gotta let Keona know. And they were like, he's going through a bad time, and then he was like, I know it's financial stuff, and then I like did the math in my head. I'm like, okay, we regularly talk with 10 people on here. This would be like $20 each. This would not be this hard. We can easily do this.
Oh my gosh. That was amazing though. Thank you for that.
Yeah. No problem.
Really cool.
Yeah, so cool. Red, where can everybody find you?
Pretty much everywhere, mostly on Twitch. My handle is some bitch named Red. We stream with Neo pretty much like every stream.
Every stream.
My co-host. Creating chaos and moisture.
Moist chaos, as we say. Okay, and also on Twitter and TikTok as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And you guys can find me on the Twitter at Neoplasmic24, also on Instagram and Threads at Neoplasmic81, twitch.tv/Neoplasmic. I will be restarting that soon. And on Red Stream, as she said, with Allie and with Brock over on the Zeroing Out podcast. as well as on renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we. All right, guys, thank you so much. You can find all of our podcasts, by the way, I forgot to say this, you can find all of our podcasts on Apple and Spotify, and for some reason, I don't know why, Pandora. We love you guys at Pandora. But, you know, that is, oddly enough, it brings in a lot of numbers for us. It's so strange. And you can find our articles and everything on renegadepopculture.com. So, all right, guys. Have a great week. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you later. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.